Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour, brought to you by Service Monster. One of the things I want to get to here is just servant leadership, because part of the trick of being able to hire from within is having good people within, and you don't have good people within if they don't want to follow you and come along on the journey with you. So let's get into some of that. I gotta imagine through the track record you have, there's times where you feel like you'd wish you had a redo button or something to go back and handle a situation differently. Have you always viewed servant leadership as the path, or was there a tipping point where you're like, I got to change the way I do this leadership thing? How did you evolve in that regard?
I think it's a temperamental thing. When I started my franchise, the one thing I was determined, I didn't want franchisees to fail. I just find that very distressing. It's the hardest thing to take. So I determined to be selective, which nobody in the industry did, or still does as far as I know in the Australian service sector. I just said, I'm not going to put somebody on that I got doubts about. I actually thought that would be a very bad decision commercially. It would stop me from growing, but I do think it was one of the best decisions I made, because the way I used to compete in the early days, I had this rival VIP, which was a lot bigger than me. They had 250 franchisees when I started my first one, and they were impressive, and they were interstate, and they had, great videos and a fancy office and all kinds of stuff. I was running it from a little flat next to my house and then from my basement. So it was, but I discovered I had a secret weapon, and that was I used to have a list of my franchisees with their phone numbers. And if somebody's interested in the franchise, they say, well, why would I buy from you when you're running it from your basement and they're established? And I said, well, here's a list of my franchisees. I want you to go and ring them. Ring as many as you can, okay? Then I want you to go and get a list from VIP and ring them. And I knew they wouldn't provide it because they couldn't. And so what happened is that anybody who had a nous to actually make a little bit of homework would ring my guys and say, well, who would you be with? Would you be with Jim's or VIP? He said, you're going to be insane. Jim's is so much better because of this and this and this. And they sold it. That's how I did it. And then it just grew unexpectedly. So I just focused very much. But my belief system as a Christian, I guess, is that you serve the people you work with. I don't maximize my income. I do a lot of things all the time which actually cost me money. I just don't think that way. In the long run, it probably is better for you financially, but in the short term, you're always making decisions. What's the best for this person? Always. And I think in the long run, it probably pays off, but that's not the reason you do it anyway. It's just that it's the right thing to do.
Hey, Home Service Heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our Home Service Happy Hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.